It's time for AggroChat, the official podcast of the Tales of the Aggronaut blog and stalwart gaming community, where we talk about stuff and things, and the stuff about the things, and sometimes gaming. I'm Belgast, and let's start the show. Hey folks, it's that time again, time for another episode of AggroChat. This is episode 231. Tonight I'm joined by Ashgar.
Colors weave into a spire of flame.
Grace.
That was amazing. I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that.
Yeah. Kodra.
So there's a tradition of us doing like continuations of songs, but all of us know we can't follow that.
It's true.
Sorry.
Damn.
Hey.
Phelan.
Hey there.
And we have a special guest tonight, Shiana, who also sometimes, most of the time, goes by Forsaken, but, like, you're never not going to be Shiana to us.
Hello, and yeah, I know, it's cool.
Like, I don't know how much you're actually going to join in, but, like, so, just story time for the listeners, because, like, we record this on a voice chat server that also gets used for a bunch of other purposes. And I always feel bad, like, when it comes time for podcast time, because we inevitably leave someone down in a different channel while we're recording the podcast. So it's like, hey, Shiana, you want to join in?
So this is going to be, and it's very good you're here, because I think we need to have some high-stakes correction time here. Hey, Shiana, who was the rogue class leader for Late Night Raiders?
Well, this is a terrifying can of worms, but the correct answer is Tamriello.
See? Tam was literally the only one who didn't think he was the class leader.
Yes, absolutely. Tam was one of my officers and pretty much my top melee DPS, I think.
I mean, mostly through cheating, but yes. I could have sworn it was Z.
No.
Maybe it was just Z in my head.
It was just Z in your head.
It was. Z was a very good friend, but you were the officer.
Oh, well.
Responsibility and such. So, we have a bunch of topics tonight, and I hope we can get through all of them, and I've kind of ordered them in what I think are going to be short topics and then a bunch of long topics. And probably the shortest of topics is Black Armory released this week in Destiny 2, and I don't know what the hell they're thinking.
Whoa.
So,
Wow.
So at some point they decided they're stopping doing traditional DLC. And every 3 months, they are going to raise the level cap by 50 and introduce a new raid and some other stuff. And I guess I had somehow missed this note. Because after me complaining about Black Armory, I have been told by lots and lots of people, well, you should have known. They told everyone ahead of time that this was what was going to happen. I was expecting like a Curse of Osiris or a Warmind, or where there's like a very short campaign and then a bunch of new stuff added to the game for like all levels of players. And instead, they added the Forges, which are like they're very similar to some of the events that they've had in the past, like the Court of Oryx or Archon's Forge in Destiny 1, or the Escalation Protocol in Warmind, where there's a thing and it's a small group activity. But so when Black Armory released, the maximum light level you could be is 600. Realistically, to fully experience the Forge, which was the thing they added in on opening day, you needed to be like 320, 325, 3 or 630. Not 3, 6 something, but basically like 20 to 30 light levels higher than what was possible at the moment it released.
So you needed to farm old content that now has new gear until your new gear from the old content is good enough to do the new content you just bought?
Yes.
This is the thing.
Pointless.
That feels bad. And
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
like,
It feels real bad to have like the first of the annual pass content to be like only targeted towards like the hardest of hardcore players.
honestly though, like it just feels like the Destiny experience to me. Like I come back and I want to see the new stuff, and oh whoops, I've got to go farm for however long. old content that I've already
it's
done.
absolutely a problem. Like we've talked about this before, where like they do not have a good returning player experience. And so like when we were last playing at release, you and I were both at like 305 light level.
Yeah.
What is now kind of the bare minimum light level is like 600, 610. Like that is a huge freaking gap. And the correct way to catch up is just to grind until you're appropriate light level. So yeah, it's a problem. Like the grind goes faster than I would expect, because like I've been doing it on a alternate character and have caught up to 500 relatively easily. But like the content started off really annoying and really difficult since things were seemingly scaling. And yeah, so that's the bad is Black Armory. I am confused as hell. And like Friday they opened the raid for Black Armory, and some people had managed to get up to like 635 in the days between Tuesday and Friday. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like,
wow.
I feel like this is content for their hardest of hardcore streamer world first community, and like they made a big deal about the race to world's first on, I don't even know the name of the raid. It's set in the city. It's I forget the name. So that's the bad that happened this week. The good that happened this week is I ended up staying up until like 1 a.m. last night because I inadvertently got drug into Last Wish, which is the raid attached to Forsaken, and it's really cool. Like, it's really good. Like, it's a great raid. There's some annoyances to it. Like, the last encounter is really, really, really freaking rough, but yeah, no, it was really freaking cool. Like, I was all on board with this. Like, they have some really imaginative raid content.
That I have noticed.
And they have good, like, the end game is really fun, but there's not a great bridge to get there. And there's a couple people that have started recently, and like we're fielding questions, and yeah, like there's too much information that's not shared or is kind of obtuse to find to make it easy to get back in.
So I kind of find this interesting to compare to like Final Fantasy XIV, where the gear grind is maybe not that bad, but if you're a returning player, you might find yourself with a ridiculous amount of story that you have to grind your way through. I think I prefer that, though.
Yes.
I mean, there's a similar story grinding gear-wise too, though. But like, you can pay your way out of debt, because I mean, like, there's almost always crafted sets that are some version of reasonable. Like, I could bankrupt myself and immediately be able to do any of the content.
That's also true. There's no economy in Destiny, is there?
No, there's no economy at all. In fact, like, most of the time, I'm capped on Glimmer, and I don't really have a great thing to spend it on. About, like, once a week, I have to go over to a vendor that will sell materials for Glimmer, and, like, that's really the only thing I have to spend the currency on. Anyway, so I don't know what they're thinking going forward. Like, I'm not sure if this is a great idea. I'm not sure if it's realistic that every 3 months they're gonna jack up the light level by 50 points, given that like in this first week I've managed to make it up to 611. So like, if I keep that pace, I will, I don't know, like in a month and a half hit the cap. So yeah, anyway. Another thing this week is the Game Awards happened, and I totally forgot that was a thing until somebody told me about it.
I wish it was something we could forget about.
Right?
Like, I don't know. Like, I mostly enjoyed it this year.
No, it was really good and relevant and important, and I'm angry that that's true about the Game Awards.
Seriously.
I find it interesting that this has been like, I don't know, like there's a tale of two award shows, or two shows in general.
Yes.
There
the
is,
award show
like,
is not the important part anymore.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Well,
it's far enough out that you can get announcements again.
the award show was like, it was so many commercials and top of commercials. Like, the award show was a complete joke for the most part. But, like, yeah, there were so many announcements because our hype cycles have shortened so much.
Which, like, I just want to throw out there, I think that's great. Just, like, conceptually, that hype cycles have shortened a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather find out about something and know that it's going to be out in 6 months as opposed to, like, finding out about something and know it's going to be out in, like, 3 years.
So that I have
Final
plenty of time
Fantasy
to forget.
15 took a lot more than 3 years.
It's true.
I mean, and by the time 7 Remake comes out, it will have probably been 5 years.
That's probably not going to come out for the current generation of consoles.
No. I kind of love that there were things that were announced that I had no clue about. Like, just did not even know it was a thing that was even being worked on. Like, the Outer Worlds, the Obsidian Fallout-y type, like,
Well, that was their announcement,
Firefly.
right?
Yeah.
That, I mean, that's a funny one. From the original developers of Fallout, by the people who brought you Fallout New Vegas, maybe Obsidian's a little bitter.
A little bit.
Yeah, the amount of salt
Obsidian is bitter about everything at the moment.
Yes, also fair.
But yes,
Because
there is some
Pillars-
specific bitterness related to Fallout.
Pillars 2 was sort of meh, I hear.
As a game, it was perfectly great and better than Pillars 1. Well, mostly. It was definitely better than Pillars 1. As a commercial product, it was awful.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I mean, I feel like Obsidian tells really interesting stories, but sometimes releases very buggy products.
They do, and this
Yes.
definitely has the feeling of a cool story to it. Like, it's got that Fallout black humor.
And it, like, in the grand, like, in broad strokes, I'm all on board for, like, space westerns. I'm down with that. I feel like it might be more Borderlands than Borderlands 3 is going to be, if we ever get a Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am kind of shocked that we did not get an announcement about Borderlands 3. Since they were kind of teasing it ahead of time,
They would have to figure out what that game actually is first.
Yeah.
it's probably been through a lot of reinvention.
So there's this phrase we have for that. I'm pretty
Dev hell?
sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that development hell is a very apt description of the Borderlands experience right now.
Yeah, seems likely.
I mean, and I guess in theory we got some kind of an announcement about a Dragon Age game that wasn't really announced as a Dragon Age game, but everyone says is a Dragon Age game.
I like Tam's take
Whatever.
on this.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, I agree.
BioWare's
Tam's
holding themselves
entirely
hostage.
accurate take. Yeah.
yeah. I guess I can repeat it. So this is BioWare playing politics. BioWare knows that if EA just shuts them down after Anthem, they're done, just forever, and it's what EA does. So this is them hoping that EA negotiates with terrorists. Look at how much your fans will hate you if you shut us down.
I mean, the only negative takeaway that I had is, like, it looks very Inquisition-y, and that's the only Dragon Age game I've not been able to finish or really even get into. I was shocked that Joker is coming to Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
The only game the Joker even sort of qualifies for, isn't even out yet. And that's Persona Q2.
Yeah, there's nothing Nintendo about Persona at all. But here we are. This is just where we are now.
What is
If it had been a
Nintendo-
Persona 4 character, again, Persona Q did exist. But again, its sequel isn't out yet.
I'm going to guess that all of the people who were mad that Waluigi wasn't in the game
Are
are
extra mad
losing
now?
their damn minds.
What,
Got
what,
it.
what are you talking about? He's an assist trophy.
Oh yeah, no. If you were going to be salty about Waluigi, you've got a lot of reasons to be salty about Waluigi in Smash, as it turns out.
I
Like
definitely-
including them making jokes at Waluigi's expense in actual missions in the game. It's a thing.
So I lied. Persona Q2 is out in Japan. So Joker is officially on a Nintendo platform right now.
Good enough.
What's Persona Q2?
It's a Etrian Odyssey spinoff. A dungeon crawler starring the Persona cast.
I wondered what that game was, like, because it has, like, the Persona 4 cast in Q, right?
The first one had the Persona 3 and 4 casts. The second one looks like it has casts from all 3 games that are all 3 relevant Persona games. But yeah, more Etrian Odyssey because I guess that team likes having work.
I could not get into Etrian Odyssey. I tried, but I know that there are folks that love those games. So glad somebody's making them.
I mean, they remade the first one so that it would actually not be a horrible experience, and I think they also did the second one at this point. But yeah, they're definitely fairly niche games.
So back to the whole Game Awards thing. The thing I think is really interesting about it is how it has evolved over the last few years. Because like this is something that I inevitably watch without really necessarily meaning to. Because like someone tells me it exists, and then I watch it in the background while I'm doing other things. Just because like there's been announcements at all of them so far. And the production quality has like significantly increased every single year. The first year wasn't too terribly far off from the PC gaming show, which admittedly has also increased in production value, but not in the same way.
It definitely started lower, so
yeah, but it feels more and more legit, which is weird to me that that's a thing that exists.
I wonder how many similar conversations were going on with the Oscars in the early days of the Oscars. And I wonder how many like older filmmakers are sitting around just rolling their eyes at the Oscars for the laughably irrelevant takes that it has.
I mean, maybe, but at least the Oscars aren't like starting the hype cycle for a ton of new things all the time.
This is fair.
Yeah, like the Oscars aren't nearly as commercial as this is.
Not in the same way.
Yeah. It's not like they are not presenting commercials.
I mean, but at the same token, like I care far less about what's happening at the Oscars than I did about the Game Awards. Same goes with like the Grammys.
I don't know, I kind of feel like I care about equally about all
which
of
is to say
Yeah.
not very much.
Not
Yeah.
that much.
I
Speaking
don't
of
know
which,
how these
do you even know
awards
what
are...
won Game of the Year this year?
I do. I know it's
God
kind
of
of a
War.
surprise. Yeah, God of War.
I only know because you guys told me.
Most people
Yep.
were expecting Red Dead.
Well, too bad.
I was expecting like a Red Dead sweep because people have short memories. I mean, like realistically, that's what I expected. I expected, oh, this is going to be the year of Red Dead because it released like a week before. Not literally a week before, but like right before. People are still playing it.
It did literally release like a week before nominations, something like that. It got nominated on basically initial hype. But yeah, I'm still mad that Xenoblade 2 didn't get any mentions at all because short memories. I think that game is definitely better than Ni no Kuni 2, for example.
I really should play Ni no Kuni 2 or possibly Ni no Kuni anything, so it stops being bored in masterfully painted backgrounds of the game for me.
I think the second one is better than the first.
I would love to play Ni no Kuni, but like I own it on the PS3, and the last thing in the world I want to do is boot up my PS3.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but also you should ignore that one and play 2. I don't think 2 is bad. I just think Xenoblade 2 is better. And one of those games got nominated and one didn't.
I mean, Xenoblade 2 is on the Switch, right?
Yes.
So that's a real stirring recommendation for me playing it.
I'm really surprised that Ni no Kuni didn't re-release on the Switch or something. So I have to also say, like, the opening moment of the show was like the dude from Sony and the dude from Nintendo and the dude from Microsoft all on stage at the same time. And like, I naively wondered if like this is going to mean more than like it really did, because so I watched the Twitch stream, and the Twitch stream prior to the show actually stopping had like a logo that says "Worlds Will Change" over and over and over on it. And I'm like, oh shit, are they gonna like announce universal crossplay? That would be amazing.
Bell,
Ever the optimist.
I love your optimism, but if you're ever asking yourself that question, I think that you can fairly definitively answer it as well.
I mean,
Bless your
like,
heart.
I never thought the three of them would ever be on stage at the same time, so
I mean, that's a lot easier. It's not like they're some for like enemy nation. Like they're just
It's not
opponents.
like this is the 90s.
Yeah, well, yeah.
and I feel like that didn't do well for one of the companies involved. Hi, Sega.
Sega's properties are doing way better under other management than Sega
Yeah, exactly.
is. Playing Sonic and Smash, it's great.
That was like the weirdest thing ever when I started seeing Sonic in Nintendo games. It's like, what the hell is going on?
Sonic
Right.
appearing-
Sega needs money.
Sonic appearing in Nintendo games is a significant improvement on the average quality of a game that Sonic appears in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that's wrong.
Like, look, I'm sorry, Sonic. I'm a big fan, but also had some good games lately, or for decades.
There were two games last year, and one of them was very good, and one of them was very not.
Right.
I mean-
That's a net zero average.
The good one included a lot of stuff from the old games. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I treat this as like another E3, honestly.
I was pretty excited to see Celeste win Best Indie, and also Games for Impact.
Hollow Knight got robbed again.
Well, wait, Hollow Knight didn't come out this year, though.
But for most people, it did.
For the Switch.
Came out on the Switch.
I mean,
It's not going to stop me from putting it in my Game of the Year, but I understand why the Game Awards might not give it.
Sure.
by that token, Diablo 3 for the Switch totally got robbed. So, okay, I somehow missed Hades in the game show. I don't know if I went to the
man.
bathroom at that point or what, but like I didn't see it until I was going through the trailers after the show.
What it
Oh,
looks
man.
like, it looks like Diablo by Supergiant.
Yeah,
So,
it does
I
look
mean-
like Diablo by Supergiant.
I saw the trailer for this thing, and this is basically like, this is Gray's catnip, right? Like, it's Diablo by Supergiant. Like, of course I am going to buy this thing, and it's great.
Yup, it's awesome.
Like,
So
I was
it's-
hemming and hawing for like about 3 seconds of early access. No, I'm gonna spend the money on this thing anyway. So why not just indulge myself right now, because it looks fantastic, and it is.
Okay. I haven't bought it yet because it's an early access game on another store.
Yeah.
I was
we'll
having
get
the
to
con-
that.
I was
guess
having the
that's gonna happen.
conversation with Kodra, and he was like, "I know that you're not into the early access thing." I'm like, no. Look, the reason I'm not doing this is not because I don't want it right now in my body. It's because I will be so mad if I start it and it's good, and then I have to stop because it's not there yet. Like,
And that is gonna be a thing, as far
Nope.
as I can tell.
and I just gotta stop. I gotta stop until it's officially out. Otherwise, I'll be mad.
But so the thing that I think that will sustain me, I mean, I haven't gotten as far through as it is possible to get yet, obviously, because I've been playing it for a few hours today, but there seems to be quite a large amount of replayability here, and there's a lot of, roguelike farming to do, and it's super satisfying and fun to do it, so I'll be real prepared when that next patch comes.
That's cool.
It's a roguelite, so that already has me interested. It's by Supergiant, so I'm more interested. It's an isometric battler. Oh, I love this game so much.
Yes, it's yeah, like I said, Grace Catnip. I don't know how they could have possibly made this game any more appealing to me personally.
So my
I'm
first
super
question
excited.
is,
I'm
like,
super excited to hear this, just incidentally, because I know that, like, Grace, especially in your case, you were really down after Pyre.
Yeah,
'Cause,
well,
like-
and I just knew, like, I loved the story, I loved the music, I loved the characters, I loved the art, I just didn't like sports ball.
Yeah.
And so this is like the next iteration of Supergiant games, and it's a genre that I totally dig, and it's great. Like,
I have a feeling. Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, after Pyre, it wasn't like, oh, no, I hate Supergiant. It was like, oh, well, they made a game in a genre that I didn't like. Hopefully the next one will be something I do. And it was.
Yeah. I have a feeling that I'm going to feel about this one the way that you felt about Pyre, because this is not usually my genre, but I'm definitely here for it because Supergiant.
I mean, one thing that it took me a couple of attempts to get used to is just that in my sort of isometric action RPG type thing, I'm used to the nonsense of Diablo and the frantic pace of Diablo, and this game is definitely more thoughtful than that. It's not just completely hack and slash. It rewards like a little bit more thought than that. So I think you might approve of that piece of it.
That definitely sounds more appealing.
And I also like as far as like roguelike things go, that it didn't take me a million deaths to get to a point where I feel pretty good and I have access to a couple different weapons and things to try. So that was good.
That's also very good, because that's a huge problem I have with a lot of roguelikes is, I've got to play a thing I don't like for a while before I can get into something I do.
The problem that I have with like Dead Cells is that you keep resetting back to the weapons that I don't really like, so I have to go out into the world to go find the weapon that I do like.
Nope, weapon is sort of... So, I feel like there are some, like, things being confused here. It is a Bastion roguelite, is probably the thing, because a lot of the way the brawler works, the action RPG combat works, is very Bastion feeling to me.
Yeah, that's definitely accurate.
Did you not like Bastion?
I liked the soundtrack of Bastion a lot.
Okay, so what I was going to ask earlier, are you playing with a controller or are you playing with mouse and keyboard?
Controller.
Mouse and keyboard.
Okay. How does that feel, Grace?
I tried it with a controller and I went back to mouse and keyboard, actually. It feels just fine to me. And it controls with, WASD. It doesn't control with click to move or anything like that. So, it feels good. I could get used to the controller scheme as well, but just, it made more sense in my brain to play it with the mouse. It was a little easier for me to aim. I'm curious, Coder, why you chose the controller.
Because that's how I tend to play these games. Yeah. Like, I would prefer to play almost anything with a controller for the most part. But, like, especially... How does it control with mouse and keyboard? I actually don't know.
I mean, you move with, WASD, and I guess the default is Q for your special, and left mouse button is your normal attack, right mouse button is your power attack, and you just aim with the mouse.
Yeah, so for me, like, the ability to quick dodge with my stick is very important to me. Like, this is just how I play these types of games. Like, suddenly it becomes more like, I dodge roll becomes very important.
Oh yeah, and so dodge is space, and I have no issues dodging all over the dang place because you kind of have to.
Yeah. How far have you gotten?
I think my farthest run was 16 rooms.
Okay, did you get through the first boss then?
So there's like the mini boss that's at about room 10.
Is that Meg?
No, I think that's at 16, and I didn't get past her.
Yeah, no, Meg wrecked me.
Yeah, Meg made me cry.
Meg stomped my face into the dirt and was like, yeah, you're not getting past me.
Yeah, good, I don't feel quite so bad. Because I just got wrecked.
No, she's brutal. Like, I look forward to fighting that again, but woof.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, maybe I could do this. I don't know, I was close to full health. I had a pretty good run, and no.
That was my first run with the shield. I think the shield's really strong.
Yeah, well, I don't know. So, this is early access. It got patched yesterday. It got patched tonight. So, between this afternoon when I was playing and tonight when I logged in again, they had nerfed shield.
Oh, oh. Fair enough.
Guess it was really strong.
Yeah.
Maybe
but
I can
identify
really OP stuff.
Yeah, it was definitely really fun. It was pretty strong. But, so I don't know, like, do you like Supergiant games? Did you like Bastion? Do you like roguelike? Like, maybe you should play this game.
And your protagonist is voiced by Darren Korb.
The primary person you hear in most of their other games.
Is he?
He's the voice of the Transistor. He's the voice of Rux. He's the
No,
voice
that's
of...
Logan Cunningham.
Oh, right.
Darren Corb's
Oh,
the...
wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't Darren Korb the narrator from
No,
Bastion?
no, he's
No?
he's the
He's the
musician.
composer.
You're hearing him.
You're hearing
the
him.
entire
Oh.
time, but not necessarily he's not a character.
Yeah, he's not a voice actor.
Although he does sing in several of the songs, at least in Fire.
Empire, yeah.
Great mind, Corb.
Yeah, he's
Never
the he is the brilliant artist behind their music, but he's just not normally a voice actor. But they wanted like a British sounding person to act for the lead, which I don't know enough about Greek history to know who this is, or if they just made him up.
They invented that character, I
Yeah,
think.
I'm pretty sure he's made up. Could be wrong, I don't know, but I think everything else is the standard Greek pantheon type stuff.
It's not a name I recognize.
Yeah, it wasn't a name I recognize either.
But yeah, like it's Greek themed with a lot of like all of the various characters you would expect in Hades or in Hell, the
And all
underworld.
All of your buffs that you find along the way are, given to you by the gods from Olympus. But it's definitely got something of its own story happening too. But yeah, very fun. Would definitely recommend. And also, it's on this yet another launcher that I have to download.
Well,
Sure,
that's
you have to download it, but a whole lot of people don't.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I was also actually. Isn't this a brand new launcher? Isn't it a
They
brand
made
new
it
service?
out of the Fortnite launcher.
Oh,
yeah,
did they?
Yeah.
it's not a new
Okay.
launcher. They did the same
They-
thing ActiBlizzard did.
Yeah, so they started adding new stuff in. So like I don't know if it started with Fortnite or if it started with the semi-open source Unreal Engine, because it also serves as the launcher for all of their development tools. And like I had that associated with it before I actually had Fortnite. And like I've only ever played the non-Battle Royale Fortnite.
Save
So,
the World?
It was just called Fortnite when I got it.
Yeah, now it's called Fortnite Save the World.
Yeah. I don't know. Like they're doing a hard push to get people to convert over.
Well, I in at least Supergiant's case, this is sort of their MO. Release a isometric action adventure game on a brand new untested storefront.
What I find funny about this is like this has been the thing that Epic Games has been doing, and I still want to call it Epic Mega Games. They shunned the Google Play and iOS stores. They're starting to shun the Steam store, and like to some extent I'm getting a sense of deja vu since Steam started kind of this way also.
I
Little bit, yeah.
Steam started off exactly this way because it
Yeah.
needed to launch Half-Life.
Right. So like
Or, I mean, that's when it suddenly became a thing.
So the funny thing is they're going out of their way to allow you to bring your friends from other things. So like you can even connect to Steam and import all your Steam friends into the Epic Games client.
Does it connect to
Because-
Origin?
It does not connect to Origin.
the
Probably
joys of
Origin has
APIs.
Origin probably has a closed API. Steam does not.
No, Steam has made a lot of ground on not having a closed API.
Yeah,
And now they're maybe paying for it a little bit.
a little bit.
GDPR made them close a lot of things off already earlier this year.
I just find this whole sequence funny, and like maybe it will make Steam like take less of a cut. I don't know.
I mean, the whole thing, right?
Mm,
So that's the story is Steam is classically a 70-30 cut. They get 30% of the game's sales. And Epic is here to offer an 88-12 cut where they only take 12% of a game's sales. That's pretty attractive. That's a lot of money.
Well, and the thing is like where other storefronts don't gain traction is that for the average user, it is another thing that they have to go download. But
Yep.
with the silly success of Fortnite that I do not freaking understand, like I don't understand the cultural phenomenon that is Fortnite.
Did you understand it while
It's
it was
because
still
we're old
PUBG?
spells. It's because
Get
we're
off
old.
No.
my lawn.
I didn't understand it during PUBG, but like no, the amount of traction this has with kids is just like it seems bigger than Minecraft did.
I don't know about that.
So random
What's the-
story
I
time.
mean, it currently is bigger than. Well, depending on your measure, it's bigger than Minecraft.
Okay, so random story time. Last week, I happened to need to go to Walmart twice, like 2 days in a row, because I forgot something the first time, and so I was there, and they had this giant Fortnite Battle Bus display, and the front of it was loaded full of Fortnite-themed Funko Pops. Like, it was just chock full of them. On day 2, when I returned to Walmart, they had like 5 left. And almost everything else on that display was well picked over. So, like, I don't know. Like, that just seemed insane to me. But the whole point is, like, a lot of people already have this client installed. And while I can complain about everything wanting to have its own freaking launcher, I mean, this is probably going to make a lot more sense than Good Old Games, even though I think the Good Old Games interface is better.
So I feel like, well, so Good Old Games has a little bit of a branding issue to it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
other things.
For a number of reasons. But one of the things is when I think of where am I going to go to get some indie games or to like look for indie games, I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to go to Steam. Like, where else would I go? There's nowhere else to go. Good Old Games is trying to be an indie publisher or an indie storefront, but I think, like, their name says it. They are for old games. Epic.
They're owned by CD Projekt.
Yeah.
Interestingly.
But
Yeah.
if you look at the way Epic is coming out, like, the first things that are being prominently, like, advertised as their, like, initial offerings on this are Hades Early Access and PC release of Journey. So, like, I'm already, like, in my mind thinking, oh, you're here to, like, actually compete for the indie market. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. And I'm probably going to go get Journey because I have never played that the proper way.
All I want to know is where the hell's my modern jazz jackrabbit?
I know 90s nostalgia is big right now, but it might be a bit. Epic is kind of busy.
I mean, I
Epic
like
is-
jazz jackrabbit a lot.
I am here for Tyrion, a new Tyrion. How about that? Or a One Must Fall 2097.
I would love a new One Must Fall.
There was a new One Must Fall, but we don't talk about it.
Right, I would love a new One Must Fall.
It turns out fighters really aren't that great in the 3D space. Like,
What?
Strongly? Soul Calibur 6 is great.
Power
I mean-
Stone will punch you. Also,
Power
probably
Stone
break
was
some stuff
so
over the walls.
Great.
Power Stone is so good.
It
Like,
was.
I wish we had, I feel like Power Stone is for me what Smash Brothers is for other people. And
Yes.
speaking of which, there's a new Smash Brothers game. But no, Power Stone is great. Like, I loved Power Stone 2 on the Dreamcast.
But
Power
also, before... go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say Power Stone was the original party fighting game.
So before we switch gears, I just want to put a shout out that Subnautica is going to be free on the Epic launcher. So,
Really?
putting in my plug, if you haven't tried it, maybe try it for free.
And that's really weird to me, given that Perfect World has also been backing Subnautica.
Well,
Like,
those two
I-
things you just said together make more sense.
Yeah, I'm just surprised they're allowing it on another storefront and not the
Arc.
Arc client, which is yet another launcher I have installed.
But I think they know that one is bad
Yeah,
because they are also still selling everywhere else.
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like they have done really good. They have positioned in my head this as a new place to look at for games I like to play, indie games. I don't even care about Fortnite, but like I'm probably gonna start booting up this client and seeing what's on it because apparently they can get games that I want to play badly. Like I want to play Journey on a PC quite a lot that I can't get anywhere else. I think that's cool. I think they're doing good making business decisions that attract my business. I don't know if that's a good decision for them or not, but hey, I'll support it.
I mean, the biggest thing they have going for themselves right now is they don't have the shovelware that Steam has clogging the pipes.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
That's only a matter of time. Probably a very short amount of time.
Maybe. We'll see.
It depends on how good they are at curating whether or not content gets to go on the platform.
I don't have the same like super rosy outlook because I think that Epic has some trust issues to get over, or some trust issues that they've created, mostly regarding Fortnite, that are, at least if I were an indie dev, I would be thinking twice about. I think that it's very telling that all of the games that you mentioned are games that have very strong backings from either existing publishers or existing mindshare, and are unique in very unique to that studio ways, which may be good for keeping indie games off of the platform, but Epic is not well loved in indie game circles right now, like at all.
That makes sense.
and trying to sell the idea of, hey, we've got to verify your game before you put it on our platform, so show it to us before anybody else gets to see it. It's kind of a hard sell, I think.
And we totally won't make a bigger budget version of it.
Right. I think it'll take off, but I think it's going to be a very select library of safe indie titles, like where the indie devs themselves are safe from anything that Epic might do. And like, I don't know, maybe I'm overly cynical, but...
So, Ash, I know you've been playing Smash Brothers. I don't know, has anyone else been playing Smash Brothers?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
We played a lot of Smash yesterday.
It was only like 8 hours of Smash.
Just a little bit?
All right.
Just a little bit.
I am desperately trying to figure out how to unlock Captain Falcon on my copy.
So you can Falcon Punch?
Well, mostly Falcon Grab, I think it is. But yeah, Falcon Punch too. Yeah, we played a whole bunch of Smash yesterday, and it's fun. There's so many characters. Everyone's in this game.
Except Waluigi. Sorry, Waluigi. You're not in this game.
So sorry, Isaac. Sorry for the 12 of you who still like Golden Sun.
The stages are bonkers, though. Wow.
I'm a little amused that only 4 of the stages are new.
Which ones?
It's the last 4 on the list. So it's New Donk City is one of them. One of the Pokemon stages is new, and I don't even remember what the other ones are.
Okay. Midgar has been a level?
Midgar was DLC for Smash 4.
Oh, okay. I mean, I haven't followed this game since it was on the N64, so I'm surprised that I guess Cloud was in that one too, so not too much of a surprise, I suppose.
Cloud was basically in the position that Joker is in right now.
Yeah.
Got announced and people were like, what the?
Yeah. Why though?
I mean, he qualified barely because Theatrhythm and Kingdom Hearts.
That is some barely.
Sure.
I mean, Cloud has a very large part in Kingdom Hearts. Totally qualifies.
Kingdom Hearts isn't a Nintendo game.
One of them was.
Guess that's fair.
So
I think it's very funny, the other companies that tried very briefly to emulate Smash Brothers, and then just like, nope, we give up.
There's still a lot of indie games that are basically like indie Smash.
Yeah, those games are doing pretty well. But no, the big attempts at cloning Smash, those have not gone well.
No,
like Sony PlayStation All-Stars or whatever.
The game's premise was bad. Also, Sony doesn't actually realize how their history works, as shown by the current PlayStation Classic.
Yeah.
Whoops.
The emulator box!
It's made of
With a
sadness.
bad emulator. Anyway, but no, Rivals of Aether exists, and Brawlhalla still exists, and whatever the other one I can't think of right now is also exists.
So which Monster Hunter game is Nintendo?
All of them prior to the current one?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, not exactly. They started with 3. 3 was on the Wii U, or the Wii, the first Wii. Then the series was entirely on the DS for a while.
It was basically like, what, PlayStation 2, then PSP, then Nintendo, then I think there's a Vita game.
There is no Vita game.
Okay.
Jump straight from the DS to World. The 3DS, really, to World.
Anyways, when I came in and was watching them play, they were fighting a Rathalos, which I thought was hilarious.
I mean, that makes total sense.
It's totally a thing. It was a dragon. We had to fight dragons. This was the whole thing we were doing.
Apparently, Marth's classic mode is he fights dragons. And the definition of dragon is maybe somewhat questionable, but Rathalos definitely qualifies more than some of the other things in that story mode.
It's true. I mean, person dressed up like Yoshi is definitely on the low end of that scale.
Sure.
So have not played Smash in more than I don't know, when did the N64 come out? Or when did it come out on the N64? I suppose is a better question. Whatever.
Almost 2 decades.
A very long time.
96, 97-ish?
Yeah, there you go. So, like, my expectation for this game was pretty low, honestly, because I figure this is going to be very similar to when, like, sorry, Kodra, when Kodra is like, this is my favorite board game ever, because I'm just going to lose forever. Turns out you can pick up Smash pretty quick. And I went from, I'm not competent at all at this game to, I don't win, but I don't embarrass myself against people who are much more familiar with it than me. Its menus are bad. Like, just bad. It drops you into a menu that looks like it came out of Persona 5. It tells you can hover a bunch of things that have, like, cutesy names, and it'll tell you, oh, you should start here. That's not where you should start. But you don't have any way of knowing that. It will tell you information.
Basic multiplayer mode.
Yeah, it will tell you information that you want to know, but good luck. Good luck finding it. It took me a bit to get over the, like, interface and some of the frustrations with the game not explaining anything to you at all, but I do like it once I gave it that. Once I got there.
I mean, I feel like this thing that you're describing is a problem of its success because Monster Hunter also does this thing other than Monster Hunter World.
I mean, I think there's a reason that Monster Hunter World is far and away more successful than, like, any other Monster Hunter game. But no, what I think it's missing is, hey, I've never played a Smash game before. How does this game even work? And it's just not interested in telling me. But at the same time, it doesn't have the experience that I have with basically any other fighting game, where unless it's got a really good handicapping system, the person who's played it before is just going to beat everyone forever. Like, because that's the problem that, like, Soul Calibur definitely has, where, oh, hey, this person actually knows how this game is played. This game stops being fun after, like, an hour because nobody else has a chance. I think that's the longest I've played a fighting game, like, ever.
It also does have a handicap mode. I found that in the options, which was interesting.
I did not even realize it had that. But that's good.
Well,
I think that's good.
Not necessarily handicap, but it has a. I think it does have a handicap as well, but it definitely has a catch-up mechanic as well, where you become more powerful the worse you're doing, like the further behind you are.
That's good.
Yeah, like those are cool options that you can turn on.
Yeah, and there are plenty of options that you can customize the experience to your liking, which I think is great.
See also Tam's conversation about how this game is also the menus are dense.
Yeah.
You can customize it to your heart's content because the menus are so stupidly dense.
I mean, the menus are dense and, like, questionably they're laid out artistically but not usably. So there was an option that I did not realize was an option. Like, I thought it was just menu decor until Ash was like, no, that's a thing you can highlight and select in a menu. I was like, what? Really? Because it's not there all the time, and it's incredibly important, but it's just, like, sitting with no label in the corner of of the menu screen, of one nested menu screen, which is like, okay, I guess it's good now that I know it's there, but
I think the problem that I've had with Smash up to this point, and I've not really played this one yet, is Smash doesn't work like any other fighting game, or, like, it doesn't feel like it works like any other fighting game.
This is true.
For me, that is a negative. For most people, that's positive.
I think you can make it work like a normal fighting game.
You can.
You can, but
I don't know that you would want to do this, but you can.
You can make it a stamina mode where you have 150 health and it ticks down.
and this is now part of like not buried in a 5 million menus. It's now just an option you can make when creating battles, which is a positive.
Yeah.
It used to be like buried in special battle modes.
But that's not really I guess the idea would be that's not really the way the combat system is designed.
Having played a whole bunch of it, it's not that bad. It has I've played a whole bunch of it because I've been playing adventure mode, which, by the way, I remember not the Subspace Emissary, whatever came before it, whatever was in the N64 one.
Classic mode?
No. What was in the N64 one that was like...
Yeah, that was...
Do a bunch of platforming.
I don't even know if that was in the N64 at all.
I thought it was.
Do a bunch of platforming sounds like Subspace Emissary.
Yeah, but I heard Subspace Emissary had a map and stuff, from what I heard.
I did not have a map. It had a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember like cutscenes or navigation or anything in like... It was just a string of platform puzzle levels that you did as a character. Anyway, that's been fleshed out to an almost ludicrous degree and is a fully featured RPG in itself now.
Yeah, so this is actually... I've been playing a lot of adventure mode too. One of my kind of gripes is that I was expecting Subspace Emissary, and instead I sort of just got this wander around, do battles, get gacha creatures, and try and make sure you're matching the right elements. I was hoping for a lot more story and cutscenes.
They did say prior to this that there was going to be less story focused than Subspace Emissary.
That's fair. I guess I didn't catch that, but sure. I wish it was Subspace Emissary.
What came before Subspace Emissary?
Melee's Adventure Mode, which is what you're thinking of.
That's it.
That was not that interesting.
I played a lot of it, though.
Sure, I did too.
This just makes me want to go back and replay Subspace Emissary, though. But it turns out you can unlock characters in Adventure Mode, and they show up in your main roster, which gives you a much more discrete way of unlocking characters, rather than the utter randomness of do a battle and hope a new challenger appears.
There's also Classic Mode for unlocking characters, which is also random, but less so.
Yeah, I really like that. So... Unlocking characters. This is a game that starts you with 8 playable characters, and there's 72?
74.
74 playable characters, which is a number that makes Suikoden go, hey, hold on.
It's not quite to 108.
It's true, it's probably got more unique characters than Suikoden, though.
Yes.
But it's a totally silly number, and you unlock them at a pretty decent pace, depending on what you're doing. But there's a bunch of ways to do it, which I like. You don't have to... I don't get the impression that it's like, oh, you really want to play this character? Like, well, you gotta play this game mode and do this particular nonsense thing in this particular game mode. Enjoy. It's like, hey, you can unlock these characters doing all kinds of different things. Whatever you like best. When we were playing, it was just periodically the icing on the cake of some particular match was the winner now has to fight some new character to unlock and sometimes lose. Also, I have a significant stable of characters that I haven't beaten but would like to unlock them.
One of the things that I haven't gotten to play with in a Smash before is Final Smashes and the Final Smash Bar, and those are fun.
Oh yeah, I feel like
having it basically be a super meter rather than a chase to find this one final Smash Ball is a positive improvement, I think.
I agree. I don't know. Was it only that previously?
Yes.
That sounds less fun.
It creates its own little mini game of sorts in which you maybe try to kill each other while people chase after this shiny ball, but I do like it better as a meter.
Yeah, I also like it better as a meter. Because it's often a way for somebody who's behind to catch up. Like, that's a good catch-up mechanism.
Also, I love, what's her name? I love, Isabel's super.
I like Jigglypuff super.
Jigglypuff is a hilarious super.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it now actually does something after 2 games of being very decorative.
Yeah, I don't think I've run into any characters that are just bad. Like, some characters are better at some things than others, and sometimes you'll get a stage that's just really bad for a particular character, but it is an intense nostalgia trip through 30 plus years of video games, though. I do think it's funny seeing which games have an outsize, have a disproportionate number of characters in the game, though.
Are you referring to the mass number of Fire Emblem characters?
Yeah, Fire Emblem is way up there. If Fire Emblem doesn't have more characters than Mario, but it's a close thing.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. Mario has 7 characters. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, DK,
Bowser.
Or not DK, Bowser, Rosalina. That's
7?
6.
Whereas Fire Emblem has Marth, Roy, Lucina, Chrom, Ike, Corrin, and Robin.
Aren't there Koopa Kids also a Mario?
Yes, you're right. Bowser Jr. is also there.
Yeah, Bowser Jr. I thought he was
so
there.
they both have 7?
Isn't Wario in there?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if Wario counts anymore, but I don't know what Wario...
It's where he originated.
It's fair.
One of his outfits is his original outfit, so he counts.
Sure. But like I said, it's a close thing if they are not outnumbering the Mario cast.
Didn't Wario first appear on an original Game Boy game?
Yes.
Mario Land 2, Quest for the 6 Golden Coins.
Yeah.
I have that game.
Me too.
It's a great game.
My first Game Boy game.
It was so much better than the first Mario game on the Game
yes.
Boy.
Also that.
Wow, yeah.
First
That game
Mario
was not good.
Terrible. Yeah.
All right, so I guess they don't really count Yoshi as being from the Mario series, even though he is, because he's got his own series. They don't count Wario as being from the Mario series for the same reason.
Interesting.
But that does leave 7 characters. Mario, Dr. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Daisy, or 8 actually, and Bowser Jr.
I mean, if we're going to start playing by those rules, then Mario isn't a Mario character. It's a Donkey Kong character.
True. Yeah.
I mean...
Well, no, he wasn't Mario yet then. He was Jumpman.
But yeah, lots of Mario characters, lots of Zelda characters, including 3 Links, lots of
Including-
Pokemon.
Including Zelda actually being, like, not just a vehicle for playing Sheik, and is super good.
Aren't there like 3 Zeldas?
Not just Zelda. Well, it's Zelda and Sheik.
Yeah, Zelda and
I
Sheik.
thought there was also like Wind Waker Zelda.
No, Wind Waker Zelda is not in this.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
Wind Waker Zelda managed to make Hyrule Warriors, but not this game.
There's also a bunch of Castlevania characters.
Somehow.
That was new. They kicked the crap out of us.
Other than Simon, who else is in there?
Simon and Richter.
Oh.
Plus Alucard as an assist trophy. But yeah, Konami is like, hey, yeah, I guess you can have some Castlevania characters. And a bunch of music. And a stage. And some history.
We
Sure.
like money. We need money. We screwed up.
We realize we don't actually want to be out of games, so hey, let's talk.
Yeah.
If it worked for Sega.
Yeah, there's a lot of Sonic in here, too, mostly in the form of assist trophies.
The only playable Sonic character is somehow Sonic. You would think Tails might have made it somewhere, but that didn't happen.
Sadness.
Poor Tails.
Is Piranha Plant, that's DLC or what?
That is, they're billing it as sort of a pre-order bonus, but it's really an early purchase bonus. Like, if you register the game between now and the end of January, you'll get Piranha Plant for free.
Oh, how do I do that thing? Is that
You bought it digitally, so you don't have to.
Okay, cool.
I love digitally purchasing things because so often that's the case. It just happens. You don't have to care about those things.
Awesome. That's exactly what I want in my game purchasing experience. You made some freebies that I get. I don't have to do any more work to get said freebies. And certainly not on a timer.
I have to say how great the digital experience is on the Switch. Like, I decided when I found out there was adventure mode that I would pick this up, and otherwise I was just going to hard skip it. And I made the purchase, and at some point it magically downloaded itself, and I'll be able to play whenever the hell I get around to it, because it'll just be sitting there waiting on me. And even more so, like, I purchased it through the website, not through the console, and it just functioned perfectly. I didn't have to tell it to do a thing, it just did the thing. Which honestly, like, is everything I want in a digital purchasing experience. Okay, so
what do you think the over-under is on getting a Monster Hunter character actually playable, since Rathalos is in?
I mean, Monster Hunter was in one of the other ones, wasn't? Or, like, the generic male bone-armored character?
No, not in Smash Brothers. Street Fighter Or Street Fighter? No. Marvel vs. Capcom. Legendary Monster Hunter.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I don't know what Street Fighter characters are doing in here either.
they've been
Yeah.
for a while.
I mean, they're in
Yeah.
everything.
It's fair.
Everyone likes Ryu.
But Ken is better.
No, Ken isn't better. Ryu is better. Oh, God, I mean, I guess now they actually have sort of different movesets. Even though they're like largely the same, they have enough flair to be like different feeling instead of just being color swapped.
I mean, that's been the case for ever and ever.
Since like Super Turbo, right?
Yeah. Ken does dragon punches, Ryu does Hadoukens.
I clearly haven't played a Street Fighter in a very long time,
I mean,
or
but
paid very close attention.
Super Turbo was several years after Street Fighter 2.
It's true. The original release of Street Fighter 2, they weren't different characters yet.
Yes, they were
No.
the same back then because they were the same in the original game.
So we're at a point where I'm not sure we can really squeeze another topic in, which is bad because like we've been punting one of these topics around for a while.
That's fine. We'll keep it on. It's pretty evergreen.
Yeah. Any final topics or discussions about anything that we talked about tonight?
If you want to check out anything from the Game Awards, check out Sonic Fox's acceptance speech of Best Esports Player.
Yes.
It was so
So good.
unexpected, but so
it was
good.
pretty great.
Like I had no clue who this person was, but like I'm on board. Also, like the official Game Awards YouTube has actually done a decent job of like serving up all the individual announcements separately so that you can browse around without having to watch the entire show.
Wow, they know exactly what side of the bread they have their butter on.
Uh-huh.
I totally destroyed that idiom, but
That's
whatever.
fine.
It's
Anyway,
the side that falls on the floor.
of course.
That's how bread works.
Hopefully you enjoyed the show, and thanks for tuning in. And Shiana, thanks for lurking in the background.
I love lurking.
You're extremely good at it.
I'm
What
great.
made you a great hunter?
Mhm.
Anyway, we'll catch you next week. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
See ya.